Hello, everyone, and we're back again, returning to the stage with HBCU Game Day and me, Renee Foster. And I have the pleasure of speaking with Coach Taylor and Coach Jones of Virginia State University. Hi, Coach Jones. Hi, Coach Taylor. How
Hi.
are you?
Hello, hello. Good, and you?
So glad that you all could join me today. I'm really excited for us to have this conversation. So let's dive right in. First things first, if both of you could just kind of tell me what number CIAA is this for you? How long have you been in the cheer world and attending Super Saturday? Talk to me. Let me know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm an old head. So I made the cheerleading squad here at Virginia State University back in 1994. I did not go to CIAA my first year. I want to say I went my second year, but I don't know. I cannot recall for real, for real. But after I stopped cheering, I started attending CIAA as a non-athlete, and that was back. I'm gonna just give it 2000. So from 2000 up until now, I've been attending CIAA.
Amazing, amazing. What about you, Coach Jones?
Well, I made the squad in 2003. I did cheer 2003, 2004 CIAA and 2005 CIAA. And then I graduated in 2005, and then I attended in 2006, 2007. Then I took a break, and then I went 2 years ago, and then going into it this year.
Great. So it sounds like I'm not speaking to any newcomers here today. I've got some seasoned CIAA vets, so y'all already know what's up. That is amazing. So let's get into the conversation. You all kind of touched on it, but just kind of tell me more about your cheer story and what kind of inspired you to become a cheerleading coach.
What inspired me to become a cheerleading coach is my experience that I had here at Virginia State University. Dr. Paulette Walker Johnson was an amazing coach. She instilled a lot of values that we still continue today. But after I graduated, I actually became a local coach in the area at Petersburg High School. And I found myself, just loving it more. And I felt like a little doc a little bit, because again, some of those things that she used to do, I found myself doing, the same. And I'm like, okay, this is how she did it. This is going to work for me, right? So I've been a cheerleading coach on a high school level for a couple of years, 4 different schools, 3 different school systems. And it just never changed. It never changed. I've always wanted to, I never really thought about being a collegiate coach until Dr. Johnson actually retired. And it was the word was like, oh my gosh, who is going to take over, who does big shoes, to follow or whatever.
Yeah.
However, it wasn't my time. I wound up moving to Maryland. And so back to 2014, I wound up coming back home and was afforded this opportunity, and I jumped on it real quick. So That's what inspired me to, go into the coaching realm.
Amazing. What about you, Coach Jones?
For me, it was the same, but I started out in recreation. After I graduated, my cousin developed a league. So I started coaching in her league, and then I switched to a different rec league. And then next thing I know, I get a call, hey, we need coaches at Henrico High School. Okay, so then I switched to the high school level. And then after the high school level, my big sis here came into the collegiate level. And then she called me when she became the head coach. But before then, I was volunteering with her when she was the assistant coach. And then I moved on in when she became the head coach to help her as her assistant coach. And
we coached together at Henrico High School as well. So we just following each other. That's all.
Gotcha. I love that. That woo-woo spirit is embedded deep. I see.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Amazing, ladies. So as me being a former CIAA cheerleader, you all being former CIAA cheerleaders, we all know how grueling and tough it can be preparing for CIAA Super Saturday cheerleading exhibition. But even now in these times, I'm sure it's even more stressful, more grueling. So how do you continue to keep your athletes motivated and inspired to keep going and, putting their best foot forward when, like I know that they are, at their wits end almost? How do you keep them motivated?
That's a good question that you asked, because when COVID hit, the first thing we thought about was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Are we doing this thing virtual? How does that work? What does that even look like? Right. So it was just like, okay, we got to keep them motivated. Well, let's talk about, we have these 3 A's. Academics is number 1, athleticism, and then your attitude. So we're like, okay, let's hone in on the athleticism. On the academics. Let's just try to encourage them, hey, stay on top, because when you come back, you want to make sure that you're eligible to, stay with the team and things like that. But it became hard. It became really, really hard, especially in the thick of COVID. The kids, they were transitioning to being at home, being virtual. We on our full-time jobs were transitioning as well. And it was really, really hard towards the second year. Going into the second year, we're just like, I don't know what else. I remember sometimes we're sitting on the athletic meetings like, hey, coach, what are you doing to help your team? Hey, coach, what are you doing? So we kind of feed off of each other and all of our other colleagues of what they were doing to try to help their athletes to be motivated to continue to be athletes in the virtual world.
Right.
Well, that's amazing. And I'm so glad you all tapped into, we sometimes forget that those right beside us could be a resource. And so that just speaks to you all's ingenuity of thinking, outside of just your program to really help your athletes. So that's great. It really drives home the teamwork aspect of it all, right?
It does. It really does.
So yeah, exactly. So I know, and you both know, that when it comes to CIAA Super Saturday and the cheerleading exhibition, teams are very top secret with what their routine is going to be, what it contains. But without giving me any details or giving away too many details about your team's performance, what can we expect from your routine next week when you return to the stage?
Ooh, real well. Returning to the stage, coming at you strong.
Okay.
We've been sitting for 2 years now, right?
Right.
So we're expecting that we're going to give our crowd that energy.
Yeah.
We're going to give them that sass,
that class,
and all that pizzazz.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. So it sounds like we're keeping it in line with the legendary woo woo tradition. It sounds like we can expect to see that, but on a higher level. So that sounds exciting. And I know your home team fans, and even, you all have fans that are even outside of the scope of just people who love Virginia State. So I know people are super excited to see you all return to the stage next week.
We're definitely excited. We just definitely need to let COVID know that COVID didn't stop anything in the land of Troy.
as Gen Z says, I know that's right. So, and kind of speaking in that same frame, what message or impression are you hoping that the crowd and people who watch the routine, what are you hoping that they get from your team's performance outside of just the showmanship? What are you hoping that they walk away feeling after they watch your team perform?
Wow, they didn't miss a beat.
Right.
They didn't miss a beat. You never see what it takes to get there.
Oh, come on.
No one can even imagine what it takes to get them to Super Saturday. Right. So we want them to feel like, oh, wow, dang, how long did they practice? They had to practice for a long time to pull this off, that type of thing,
Yeah, that's amazing.
You want it to be memorable.
Yes,
Very
yes,
memorable.
exactly. Okay. And I myself am looking forward to it. Okay. I love me some woo woo. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. Even though
Okay, now.
I'm a ram all day.
Look.
Last but not least, and we've talked about this, me and you, Coach Taylor. But there is a common misconception that is associated with cheerleading, first of all, but then there's another layer with HBCU cheerleading, and then there's an even deeper layer when it comes to CIAA cheerleading. What do you want to say to kind of dispel those misconceptions about cheerleading within the CIAA?
It's a sport.
I'm about to say that top
Most
thing to us
definitely a
is that we're
sport.
not seen as a sport.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, our athleticism that you see with the stomps, with the shakes, it's not a ghetto thing.
Man,
It truly
amen.
is an art. It's a art. Everybody cannot
Right.
stomp and shake. Everybody cannot. And I'm a true testament to that. I cheered at a traditional school, okay? And I didn't make the woo-woos my first year. Why? Here I'm thinking, yeah, I can dance, right? So I'm thinking I can stomp, I can shake, I can move my body like they're moving or whatever. I didn't make it my first year.
Neither did I.
I didn't have those other elements that it takes to be a stomp and shake cheerleader. And so I had to really learn that, you know what I mean? And at that time, we didn't have all these social medias where we can go and look, and see and emulate what we see and all that. You literally had to try to sit in the stands with your little video camera, trying to record so that you can go and emulate what you saw. So I would love to dispel the myth that anybody can, that it's not a sport, that anybody can do stomp and shake, and that we're just dancers. That's not true.
It's not. It's a lot of endurance. It's a lot. It's period. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I think people don't understand just as how taxing it could be on the body. And because on top of the stomping and the shaking, there are the same traditional cheer elements of stunting, tumbling. And so you put all of that together, and it's just, and then on top of it, making sure that you're performing so that your crowd loves it and your fans love it. It is a lot. Exactly. Agreed. Well, ladies, that's the end of my questions, but is there anything else you want to share, or you want to give a shout out, or anything before we wrap up today?
I just want to say I want everybody to come out and come support us. We are very grateful to the CIAA conference, Sprite, for even presenting and hosting this Saturday exhibition. We're glad to be back. We could have easily been seen as spectators, and especially if they said no spectators. That's what we were kind of cringing against. But we're so excited, and we look forward to seeing everyone.
Yes, see you all in Baltimore safely.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, I want to wish you all safest travels. I want to wish you all to have the best week and leading up to Baltimore. And thank you so much again for participating in this interview with me. Again, this is Coach Taylor and Coach Jones with Virginia State University, and I am Renee Foster with HBCU Game Day.
Woo woo!